Yes, yes, it's Lemon here. Here's my review of the Zowie GSR-SE ROUGE edition.
1, 2, 3, 4. You fall flat.
So I've been using this mousepad for around like a year now. But with the recent release of the new GSR-SE, I wanted to like make a review of the ROUGE edition just so people can like get to know what they're getting if they want to get the new version. This Zowie mousepad is like one of the most used in terms of like tacfps games like Valorant and like CS. It's super popular in like the Val community and it's been used in like VCT, even by like Demon 1, which is kind of crazy. This pad's like really popular. Let's get down to the specs. The size of the GSR-SE is 4070 by 390 mm and is 3.5 mm thick. It's not like the biggest size compared to like new mousepads that are coming out. Again, I would like it to be bigger. I feel like it's like quite small. One of the issues I feel is when I'm doing like tracking scenarios on like coax, I always feel like I'm like going over the edge, especially in like precise orb or like big vertical tracking. I always feel like I'm like going over the edge. But yeah, the pad uses a rubber base. It's really good. Even with like all the porn hype, this is a good implementation of rubber. Like this thing doesn't move. I had no issues with the mouse moving while playing. Like I can try and force it, it won't move. It will stick there. Like it doesn't move at all when I'm playing. It's quite good. Zowie opted to do like no stitching on this mouse pads. I'm not like the biggest fan of no stitching because it can cause like fraying and like issues. But after a year, I'd say like there's limited fraying on here. Like it's barely frayed at all. I'm quite happy because like no stitching can do that. But so far I've had like no issues with it. It still looks good. Lots and lots of people have talked about humidity issues with this mouse pad. Like it's one of the biggest problems with it. Personally, I don't really have problems with it. I've only had problems in summer when it gets like above 25 degrees, which is like only for like 2 weeks, but it does feel inconsistent and like much slower in those sort of conditions when it's like humid and hot. I also talk to people who live in like warmer conditions and they say they do have inconsistencies with the pad. So if you live in like a hotter country, that's something to look out for. This pad might feel slower and inconsistent sometimes. Now the feel of the mouse pad is super nice. It's like a really slow and controlled pad, but the texture is like, it's super smooth. There's like no texture at all. It glides so easily. There's like a really good level of dynamic friction. It feels smooth and like it glides really well. It's super fast as well when like you're doing little flicks. There's no tugging feeling at all, which you get with some control pads. The static friction is also like really nice. It's really controlled, and when I'm doing like static movements, it's really easy to do like micro corrections just of like how controlled it is. Like if you're doing like a big flick and you need to do a micro, it's so easy to do up this mouse pad. I've tested the mouse pad with G Pro stock skates, Lamzu skates, Tiger Ice V2 skates, and like also Razer skates. I want to say like every skate felt really nice on this mouse pad. Like no inconsistencies at all. They all felt really good. And the Tiger Ice skates, which I'm currently using, felt really good on this mouse pad. Like you get really good speed, but like the mouse pad's that controlled, you get such good stopping power as well. Like it's super good. And lastly, obviously I'm using a sleeve right now, but I've been using a sleeve on a mouse pad for like 4 months maybe. I'm currently using the Focus arm sleeve, which is like my favorite one. Really good. I've had no issues with it, with like tugging or any sort of friction. Even with the no stitching, I know that causes an issue with some people, but I've had no issues with it, which is great.